Hey guys, how you doing? I didn't even see you there. I was actually just gonna go out for a swim, but I can do that later. I'd much rather hang out with you guys anyway. All right, hold on, just give me a second. Let me get my goggles off. Oh, usually really tough to get off. They suction right to my face. Oh, ooh, that hair. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. And actually, since you are, this would be a great time to start learning about our next animal classification group. And with all this incredible, beautiful water around us, it only makes sense that we start learning about, you guessed it, fish. All right. You know what? Well, since we're going to be learning about fish, it only makes sense that we take a little fishing trip. Don't you agree? And believe it or not, I happen to have my handy dandy fishing pole right here. Coincidence? I think not. Come on, I've got a great spot. And it's just past the third wave on the right and a little bit down a bit. And so, if you hop into my boat with me, we'll get there in no time. Oh, wow. Look at this. It's so beautiful. Do you guys see what I see? Are those fish? How do we know for sure if those are fish? Think about that for a minute. While I start fishing, I want you guys to keep that in the back of your mind. How do we know those are fish? I mean, I think we can agree that they are based on what we know, but do we know everything we need to know in order to determine if something's a fish or not? I mean, there are a lot of animals that live in the ocean or just in water to begin with, freshwater or saltwater. So how can we determine what's a fish and what isn't? Which ones go in the fish category or classification group and which ones don't belong? I think we're going to have to do a little research. But for now, let's start fishing. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm not the best fisherwoman. I usually don't have such great luck. So be patient with me, all right? And I only have a few worms, so I don't get many tries. Here we go. Oh boy. Oh, man. I think I got something right away. Oh, wish me luck. I think oh, no, jump back in. Hold on. What? Take a look at this. Wait a minute. This is definitely not a fish. First of all, it has hair. And second of all, even though it just came out of the chilly ocean, its body temperature still feels kind of warm. And we've learned about these guys. Mammal, not a fish. Not sure what he's doing here. Must be lost. Here you go, little zebra. You just hang right over there, hang out over there with the mammals. The mammals that live out of the water, anyway. All right, let's see what else I can catch. Oh boy, it's dark down there, that murky water. Oh, that one jumped back in. He must not want to be caught. Ooh, look what I have here. Ha. This is certainly a surprise. Mr. Flamingo. I'm not sure what he's doing out here in the ocean either. We know he's got feathers, so certainly not a fish. Definitely a bird. We learned all about birds. All right, here we go. Chance number 3. What's it going to be this time? Ooh, I hope it's something good. Oh boy. Ooh, this one's tiny. Can you tell what it is? Let me get him off the line. Ooh, he's slippery and slimy. Ooh. Poison dart frog. He also shouldn't be out here in the ocean. Where are these guys coming from? Must have taken the wrong bus. Poison dart frog. Slimy wet skin. Definitely not a fish. Amphibian? Most definitely. Gotta go over here with some other amphibian friends over here having a little party. All right, here we go. Round number 4. See what I can reel in this time. Let's see what I can get. Oh, this one's giving me a little bit of a fight. Oh, he jumped off the line again. Oh. Oh, look at this catch. Oh, I'm gonna keep my hands away from that front part. Ooh, that front end looks a little nasty. Would not want to get near that. Now, he's got scales, and that seems to be one of the characteristics I think fish might have. But his body is covered in dry, scaly skin. Definitely not a fish then. Dry, scaly skin. Lays eggs. Oh, wait, I think fish might lay eggs. These guys lay eggs. They're very different. Reptile, not fish. Not sure what's going on here. There should be millions of fish in this ocean, but yet I haven't caught a one. Really not very good at this. Let me try again. Oh, check this out. Starfish. Oh, super cool. Ouch, kind of hurts to touch actually. Let me think. Starfish has fish in the name. I mean, it must be a fish then, right? Well, not necessarily. We might have to do some research on this one. Just because it has fish in the name doesn't necessarily mean it fits into our fish classification category. So we'll put a question mark next to this one, all right? Starfish. Not sure. I'm going to guess and make an educated guess that a starfish isn't actually a fish, but we'll find out for sure. All right, I've got one worm left. I've got to be able to catch a fish. I mean, we've been out here forever, and I haven't caught a one. Oh, I might actually have my very first fish. Believe it or not, and I don't want to touch this one, I have caught my first fish. Woo woo! Finally, I'm not going home empty-handed. You guys know what that is that I actually did catch? It's a shark. But guess what? Sharks are actually fish. So he definitely doesn't resemble the fish in our background, but he is in the fish category. So we're going to have to figure out, do a little research and come up with the characteristics of what actually classifies an animal as a fish. Because this guy lives in the water, just like other fish. But I want you to think about this for a minute. Dolphins also live in the water. And when we learned about mammals, we learned that a dolphin is a mammal, not a fish. A dolphin has hair, it's born alive, and it's warm-blooded. So, not every animal that lives in the ocean is actually a fish. So we're going to have to really be careful with what we categorize as a fish and what we don't. But I am going to tell you, only because I already know this, that sharks, are fish. So it sounds like we've got some things that we need to figure out. And I'm not sure we can do that here while we're out fishing. So maybe you want to meet me in dry land and we'll learn a little bit more about the fish category. Sound good? Awesome. Well, thanks for coming fishing with me. And maybe I'll see you later. If you want to go for a swim, you can join me. Put my goggles back out. Maybe I'll take a quick one before I meet you up on the land. See you then.
Hi guys, I'm really happy to be back on land. Let's start learning a little bit more about fish. Although there is a lot of land on Earth, there's even more water. And where there is water, there are likely fish. We know there are fish in ponds, in streams, in rivers, in lakes, and of course, in oceans. And what I learned is that there are more than 30,000 species of fish on planet Earth. Not 30,000 fish total, 30,000 species or different kinds of fish, which means there are millions and millions of fish swimming around on our planet at any given time. Whoa. Now, if you remember when we learned about birds, there were just over 10,000 species of birds. So, if we were to compare species of birds to fish, there are many more fish than there are birds on our planet. Many different kinds of fish as compared to birds. Really, really cool. All right, here are the characteristics of fish. So all fish have these things. The majority of fish. Of course, there are always going to be rule breakers. But the majority of fish are vertebrates, and actually all fish are vertebrates. This isn't where the rule breaker comes in. And this is a really cool picture of a fish skeleton. You know right away what it is just by looking at the bones. Fish are cold-blooded, which means their body temperature depends on whether it's cold or hot outside. I think as mammals, being warm-blooded, we're luckier. We don't really have to go inside and outside to make our bodies heat up or cool down. Fish are also aquatic. They live in the water. Now, there is one rule breaker I learned about, and he's called a mud skipper. And I'll try to attach a video or put a separate link at the end in Dojo because they are really fascinating. And based on its name, mud skipper, you can kind of guess where they live. Now, fish also have scales. You can see here I circled some scales on this really beautiful orange fish. And the scales are a fish's body covering. And scales actually serve a few purposes. They're there to protect the fish. They're kind of like a body armor, just like a knight might use to protect himself from someone who was trying to attack him. And the scales, to make them stronger and help them move through the water more quickly and smoothly, overlap just a little bit. So if you think of a Venn diagram like I use sometimes in my lessons, part of the circles overlap. They don't cover each other completely, just slightly. And that's what a fish's scales do. They cover each other just slightly. And like I said, that helps them move through the water more quickly, and it also helps protect them. And the scales actually tell us about a fish's age, which I never knew before. I thought that was really fascinating as well. There are little rings on the scales, apparently, and by looking at those, someone who caught a fish could actually tell approximately how old it was. Pretty neat. Now, fish also have gills, and on this shark, I circled his gills, and they are these thin slits here right behind his head on the side of his body, and they actually are there to extract oxygen. So fish take in water, and they still need oxygen to breathe, just like we do. So they actually extract the oxygen from the water. And then the extra water, or all that water that they actually took in through their mouths, leaves through their gills. So it's a really fascinating process. And that's another link I'm going to include in Dojo, because there's a SciShow Kids video that goes over that really well. Fish also have fins. Now, not the type of fin I have here at my house, that white fluffy mammal that sits on the couch. It's a whole nother type of fin. These are a fish's fins, and they help guide them through the water. Fish also have tails, And I love this picture of this black and red fish because his tail is highlighted for me right here. And the job of the tail is to help move the fish through the water, help it steer, kind of like a boat. There's a rudder on the back of a boat, and it can be moved to help guide the boat to where we want it to go. Fish also lay eggs, and animals that lay eggs are called oviparous. And I haven't introduced this word before, you guys, because we were just learning so much vocabulary with our other animal groups that I didn't want to overwhelm you. So today is the day. So any animal that lays eggs is going to be called oviparous. So we know fish lay eggs because here are a certain type of fish's eggs, and here's another species type of eggs here. So you can tell there's quite a bit of difference between the way fish eggs might look depending on the species of fish. Here you can see little eyes. Maybe those fish are about to hatch. Really cool. Can you think of any other animal groups that lay eggs? I hope you can. But just in case, were you thinking reptiles? If you were, you're right. What about birds? Of course. Birds are oviparous. They lay eggs. And was there one more animal group that laid eggs? Ah, yeah, of course. Amphibians. So birds, amphibians, reptiles, and fish are all oviparous. Now here are just a few pictures of fish, not fish, because I referred to some of that when I was out fishing yesterday. So, fish on the left-hand side, all different types. And here's our shark, because if you remember, sharks are classified as fish. Now, they don't lay eggs, so sharks are rule breakers. Sharks do give birth to live babies. They don't lay eggs. So I told you there were some rule breakers, and that's one of them. Not fish over here on the right-hand side. So I learned that a starfish, whose actual real name is a sea star, they don't have gills or other things that are characteristic of fish. So sea stars or starfish are not fish at all. A jellyfish is not a fish. An octopus, although it lives in the water, it's not classified as a fish. And whales and dolphins are not fish either. They are mammals. They give birth to their babies. And I actually chose the picture of these dolphins because at the top you can see their blowholes. They need to come to the surface of the water to breathe air. They do not have gills, so they cannot take oxygen from the water. They have to come up and get it from air. So I actually love that picture. Whoa, I love this picture too. This is a picture here of the largest fish on Earth. He's called a whale shark. And remember, sharks are fish. And he's greater than 55 feet long. Look at this human swimming up here. Apparently, whale sharks are not aggressive, so she's not concerned. But if you took maybe 9 of me and laid me end to end, that's how long a whale shark is. 55 feet long. And then over here on the right-hand side, we have the smallest fish. And just for a reference point, I chose this picture so you could see just how tiny it is. It's less than an inch, actually less than a half an inch long. And it can sit right on someone's finger and still have plenty of room around it. Cool. Here are just some pictures of fish that I pulled, and I was just thinking about the adjectives that I would use to describe them. Remember, adjectives are describing words, and I chose the words vibrant, unique. They are all very different. Some of them are scary to me. I think they're fascinating, and some fish are even human-like. What adjectives would you use to describe some of these fish? Okay, guys, I hope you liked learning about fish. Here are a few vocabulary words I would love for you to remember moving forward. So the word extract. That means to remove or take out. Like fish's gills help them extract the oxygen from the water. A dentist might extract a tooth or pull a tooth out, take it out. Gills. The thin slits on a fish's body that help them extract the oxygen from the water. Scales. A fish's body covering. And oviparous. An animal that lays eggs. Now your guys' homework assignment is this. Answer one. Actually answer all of these questions for me because they shouldn't be too difficult. What is one way that fish and mammals are similar? Because there is one way. Provide or give me one reason that a dolphin is not considered a fish. And I actually gave you that answer. And 3, what do fish and reptiles have in common? All right, that's it for today.